What's going on, everybody? It's GameUnboxingReviews here, and this is kind of like the second part of the Beanox Answers Questions thing. Basically, this was all intended to be a huge, big video that explained everything easier, but it became too long of a video, and I even I tried shrinking it down, but it was still really long, and it was just impossible to make it short for you all to watch. So what I've decided to do is I've decided to make 3 parts. So the first part is now out, online. It's the Beanox Answers More Questions. This is the next part where I talk about some of the latest news on the game. And then lastly will be the trailer analysis, where I go through the trailer and I show you all the new things and also some of the things I noticed. So without further ado, let's get to it. Okay, so Beanox recently got interviewed by Newsarama, and there was a lot of things we already knew about the game, but there was also some small little details in there which I think make a big difference. So the first thing I noticed is this paragraph, and it says this one changes the styles of buildings as you move from Chinatown to Midtown to Harlem, and that was an extract basically referring to how the city in this one is, yes, it's New York, but it's also quite different in like the landscaping and things. It's just much different, and it feels more like an open world. But the thing that caught my eye was the Chinatown, Midtown, and Harlem. Now Chinatown the most though, because yeah, Chinatown is in the game, which is really nice, and I do hope it looks like Chinatown. I don't want it to look like for example, I don't want to jump off a building, swing, come into some neighborhood, and then go around the corner and there's an exact same neighborhood. I would hate for that, and I know that won't happen anyway, but you know what I mean. It's really annoying when you see the same place but it's not the same place. It just looks like it, and I don't like that. So yeah, I think it's pretty cool how Chinatown's there, and maybe we'll have some cool battles there or something. That would be awesome. So we've also got Midtown and Harlem as well, which is nice. Alright, so next up, a new costume was revealed, but you'll miss it when you're reading the interview with Newsarama and Beanox. You will completely miss it. You'll just read through it and you'll be like, da, 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 and you'll see the costumes are mentioned, but you'll miss it. But luckily, I spotted it, and it says the Ends of the Earth suit. Now, the Ends of the Earth suit is one of my favourite suits at the moment. It just looks amazing, and it was one of the ones that I wanted to see the most in the game, so it's brilliant to see it. There should be a picture of it up now, but please bear in mind that is not a picture of it in-game. That is a picture from, I believe, Marvel Heroes Online. I just use it as an example to show you what you could be seeing in the game. But yeah, just look at it. It just looks amazing. So it's really nice to see that suit's in the game. And I think he used it to... I remember seeing a comic strip, because I haven't read the comic yet. But I think I read a comic strip where Spider-Man's Avengers assemble, and he's got his hands on the desk, and I think he's trying to take down the Sinister Six once and for all or something. I think it's something like that, and I'd definitely like to read that storyline at some point, because that suit just looks so awesome, and yeah, the story sounds pretty cool as well. So yeah, Ends of the Earth suit. Now there's only 2 more suits we don't know about in the game. What could they be? We'll just have to wait and see, I guess. Okay, so we know that Peter Parker has RPG elements in the game, where you talk to Harry Osborn, who else? Wilson Fisk, loads of characters that will eventually become villains, and I think probably characters that don't become villains. But again, in the Newsarama thing, you might miss this, but it mentions that we can talk to Aunt May. Now I don't know if that's talking to her in the house, but yeah, you can talk to Aunt May, so that's pretty cool. It would be really cool to be able to just run, take the train. There might be other ways, but take the train to Peter's, to Aunt May's home, and then when you're there, just go to sit with Aunt May and talk with her. And it'd be a really nice attention to detail if Peter actually goes and sits down before he starts talking, so he's not just standing over the top of her. But either way, it would be great. But yeah, talking to Aunt May is in the game, and a small little feature, but little things make a game for me, to be honest. Okay, so last but not least, on the Newsarama interview, there is another interview that I have to talk about. It's from Polygon, but this is the last part of the Newsarama interview, and basically at the end of it, Thomas Wilson from Beanox says this: there's something really cool. We have a comic book store in the game, and I cannot reveal who the clerk is, but it's really fun and cool. Fans will love that. And then the guy from Newsarama says, sounds like a good place for a Stan Lee cameo, which Thomas Wilson replies with, hey, who knows, and laughs. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure that Stan Lee is going to be in the comic book store, which, I mean, having a comic book store in the game is already awesome, but Stan Lee's in it as well? That's just too cool. That is way too cool. Also, expanding on the comic book store, I think that is where you'll read comics, and I really do hope it's like that, because in games like, you know, Grand Theft Auto, you put your disc in, you start it up, and you just go through a loading screen, and then you're in the open world. There's no menus you have to go through, you don't have to load a game, it just knows what you're wanting to do straight away. And if Spider-Man, you know, if this game's like that, that's great, because it's like, if I want to read a comic book, I actually have to go to the comic book store. I don't have to quit the game, go into a menu, choose the comic. I have to go into a comic book store and choose the book. I really hope it's like that, because that would be really nice. And yeah, just what I would definitely just be walking around a comic book store as Peter for hours on end, and I'll probably make lots of videos and things like that. Like I'll definitely be making like videos showing all the open world interiors in the game, so that should be good. So yeah, a comic book store is in the game, and Stan Lee might have something to do with it, so we'll have to stay tuned for that. Okay, now on to the interview with Polygon. So they first off talked about the swinging mechanics, which we've heard a lot about, but you know, it's always nice to hear a little more. So Thomas Wilson from Beanox said this in the interview. We're totally aware that people will jump into this game, probably hitting walls more often than not in their initial playthrough. But as you play the game, you get more familiar with the way that you can web swing, and then you feel like you're better at it, and you become a better Spider-Man. And apparently, Polygon said this: the new web swinging mechanics do take some getting used to. However, Polygon have said that once they got into the flow of it, they found the swinging to be the best in the series, best web swinging system yet. So, I don't know what to say to that. I mean, best web swinging in a series yet. Do they mean Spider-Man games in general? Like every single Spider-Man game as is a series? Is that what they're calling it? Or are they just saying Amazing Spider-Man, as in like 1 and 2? But it's really nice to hear that Polygon enjoy the swinging, and that I kind of like that it takes a bit and get used to, because it's you know, Spider-Man in the movies is like, you know what I mean? He's just going left. He's not always going left, right. He has to get around corners and things, and I think that's going to be really cool in this game. And like, it's definitely going to be more of a challenge swinging. And I think it's going to be fun in boss battles as well, because it's going to give you more of a challenge. And you've not only got to, you know, keep up with the villain and fight him, you've also got to keep a hold of your web and, you know, when to shoot which hand. I think that's a really nice idea, to be honest. And yeah, I'm definitely really excited about the web swinging mechanics. I mean, I'm already sold on them. I mean, there's so many little details in them. Like, you can climb the web now, it's got momentum, it's got boosts, it obviously sticks to buildings. You can't like swing in the sky anymore. You, like, if you're in Central Park, you have to stick to the trees. So, you know, it's very detailed, and yeah, definitely way better than the first game swinging. Okay, so now to talk about the Peter Parker sections of the game. So you can skip all the RPG, you know, like dialogue sections in the game, but Beanox hopes that you won't, as they are meant as a narrative vessel to provide insight into the people in Parker's life. Now, personally, I'm definitely going to go through nice and slowly and read all the little dialogue parts in the game, because it allows you to learn more about the story, learn more about these characters, and it also gives you a lot of replay value, because, like, for example, oh, I said this to Harry the first time I played it, why don't I say this instead? And then it gives you different outcomes and things, and you know, it just keeps you playing, and because it's like, it just makes you want to keep going back to the missions and seeing what else you could say, because there's probably quite a lot of missions, which means quite a lot of dialogue options, and there's probably, you know, the same thing with Aunt May. I bet you can say different things to Aunt May every time you go into the house, so it mixes it up a bit, I guess. Polygon was shown a mission where Peter Parker attended a cocktail party to snap some photos of the Manhattan elite. During the mission, Peter ran into Harry Osborn and started chatting to him about Oscorp's connections to Wilson Fisk. Osborn then admits that Fisk was connected to the Mafia, but was also the only person who was willing and of course able to invest in Oscorp's research. So, you know, like I said, this is very different from the movies. I mean, the games and the movies are completely different. the villains, the story, the scenes, everything's different. So Osborn and Fisk is a really nice idea actually, but obviously you can't do that in the movie. So yeah, I think that's going to be pretty cool. I'm very excited to play as Peter Parker actually, because if anything, his parts of the game, like his sections, sound more interesting than Spider-Man, because you're getting more into the story, and I love it when games do that, where I can go behind, you know, take off the mask and kind of be a civilian for a day. So yeah, I definitely think the Peter Parker gameplay is going to be really, really fun. Alright, so the last thing in the Polygon interview, they talked about the Hero Menace system. So some new things we know now is the various crimes in the city will expire after a certain period of time, and if you neglect or fail to successfully complete them, you will be marked as a menace. So, you know, you'll be swinging around and you may not get to that crime in time, and you failed pretty much. I mean, it's not a failure as such, it's just like you had that opportunity, but the authorities have taken care of it anyway, and people are like, oh well, Spider-Man could have done that, but he just sat there and, you know, he didn't do a thing. So it's making you want to be a hero in a way. Once that happens, so once you know, you miss out on a crime or trying to save someone, the city will send in a task force which consists of drones that will pester Spider-Man as he soars around Manhattan. I'm pretty sure it's more than drones, because like in the new trailer I think you see it, you know, it's not confirmed, but it definitely looks like some sort of task force which is going to take Spider-Man down, because they've all got like different weapons and things, and so I definitely think it's more than just drones. So it'll be cool to see, to mix it up. I mean, you know, they've said that being a menace doesn't really give you any benefit, but I definitely think it'll still be quite fun. You know, just trying it out, seeing what people, see how the pedestrians act when you go up to them, and definitely, you know, like when you wear, say, like the black suit and you're a menace, that's gonna make, you know, cool little adventures you could make up. Crimes in the game will include a standoff between thugs and the police, rescuing citizens from burning buildings, and defusing bombs. Now here's the cool bit, like we all thought, that's cool, we've now got random crimes and we're all happy, but they've also made it different. So some will include a different variety in the number of people in a building, different locations, and also obstacles, like for example debris to clear. So for example, you've just saved somebody in a burning building. You could go to another burning building across the street, across the city, and it would have some completely different people in completely different areas with completely different obstacles and things. So it mixes it up a bit. I mean, eventually, you know, you'll probably come across the same one, but it's nice that they're trying to do that, and I think that's a really cool thing to do. Last but not least, the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One versions. They didn't say PC, but I'm pretty sure the PC version will be like this as well. But yeah, the PS4 and Xbox One versions of the game will offer 1080p resolution, a better draw distance, and a smoother frame rate. So, you know, if you were worried about the Xbox One and PS4 version being pretty much exactly the same, it will have some differences. It will, I mean, they've already said it looks better. They've already said it looks better than the PS3 and 360 version, so, you know, there's nothing to worry about, really. Alright guys, so the trailer analysis should be up as soon as possible. As soon as I'm done, I'll upload it, but I can't really say a time zone for now, obviously. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Stay tuned for lots more news on the Amazing Spider-Man 2 video game from and after launch, because, well, yes, I'm doing all these news videos, but I'll also be doing gameplay videos when the game actually releases. So if you'd like to check them out, you know, like see all the costumes, all the open world interiors, just free roam as well, and definitely make sure to subscribe, because I've got lots planned for this game. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Stay tuned for lots more, and thank you for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe.